This is the Global Economic Commodities Scrap Metal and Recycling Report by our Bentley Roll-Off Trailer and Gondola Trailer, December 14th, 2020. U.S. weekly crude steel production rose to 1.579 million tons, near a 9-month high on slow U.S. and global growth. Crude oil price rose to $46.60 a barrel, near a 9-month high on delayed U.S. stimulus news, but slow increases in demand continues. The U.S. weekly oil rig count fell to 258, down 84% from the 2014 high on relatively low prices and on a very slow increase in demand. U.S. weekly crude oil production was steady at 11.1 million barrels a day on the same relatively low prices and low demand. Scrap steel number 1 HMS export buying price Philly rose to $285 gross ton on strong export demand and moderate supply. Scrap steel number 1 HMS price settled at about $303.20 a gross ton, about a 20-month high on the same good export demand and moderate supply. Upward price pressure remains in the market. Hot rolled coil steel rose to $45.49 per hundredweight, an almost 2.5-year high on good U.S. and global demand and on higher scrap and iron ore prices. Also, steel mill outages are causing supply shortages. Copper price was steady at $3.53 a pound, near a 7-year high as markets are optimistic about future economic growth and on strong Chinese demand. Aluminum price fell to 91 cents a pound, but near a multi-year high on similar dynamics to copper. Eurozone economic growth, GDP. Remember, the Eurozone is an economy about the size of the U.S. Their economy grew at 12.5% in the third quarter, but it is still down 4.3% versus last year. November's U.S. Small Business Optimism Index fell to 101.4, but it is still relatively high. It fell on COVID uncertainties and future policy uncertainties. November's U.S. inflation rate was steady at 1.2%, well below the 2% Federal Reserve target. New vehicles were up 1.6%, but energy fell 9.4% and apparel fell 5.2%. U.S. weekly initial unemployment claims rose to 853,000 plus 428,000 self-employed people, so 1.28 million total, the highest in about 12 weeks. Under 300,000 is needed for growth. New lockdowns across the U.S. are causing layoffs. December's U.S. consumer confidence about the economy jumped to 81.4. Current and future expectations improved. Now, the same U.S. consumer confidence when looking at details by political party. Democrats are dramatically more positive since the election, and Republicans are dramatically more negative. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 172 points to 30,046. But near the record high on record daily COVID deaths in the U.S. and the delayed stimulus bill. But outstanding news. The first vaccines are going into arms this morning. Save $140,000. Really? Need a new roll-off truck? Buy a Super Mini roll-off trailer at $63,800, including tarp system and FET. Only 25 feet 11 inches, so when run behind a day cab, it is almost as short as a roll-off truck, but it is more maneuverable and legally carries more weight. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions, and we hope all stay safe in these very difficult next 6 months.